What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck. This is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, and this is the Amc Gme and SPY Algo Exposed daily update and preparation video for tomorrow and beyond. Before I get into everything, I want to take a quick second. I just want to say thank you to those of you that have taken the time to look into everything that it is that I'm doing, that have supported me, that have defended me, that have tried to protect me out there in the yoo-hoo world of social media over and over and over again. I appreciate you all more than you know. For those of you that have spent your day, specifically today, on the cesspool of trash, aka Twitter, shit-talking me, trying to hate on me for whatever you deem fit to hate on me, I just want to say I'm sorry for whatever it is that you have been through or you are going through that has turned you into this kind of a person, that you would spend your day on a social media platform as a grown adult and hate on a man who has spent the last 2 years of his life battling cancer to be in this chair right now, to be able to do this, to even be able to speak to people. And I spend my entire days, 15 to 20 hours per day, 6 days a week, trying to help people. I'm just sorry that that's how you've decided to spend your days. And it makes me feel really bad for you. And in comparison, I want you to know what I did with my day today. And I posted this on Twitter, and I'm going to post it here for y'all to see. My scalp ideas today that I played were as followed. SPY plus 225%. AMD plus 85%. DKNG DraftKings plus 150%. Palantir plus 195%. NVIDIA on both sides of the ball, 15% and 30%. Peloton, 63%. And Uber, a whopping 300%. I spent my day helping others and making money. What did you do with your day? Thank you all. I appreciate it. On your screen, we're going to take a look at everything that I always go over, all the regulars, AMC, GME, SPY, the Snake, Algo, and the macro comparatives for all three as well. So with that said, let's dig in. On your screen is AMC and the current snake. This is the same snake I had on here. I talked about the potential misplacement of it yesterday in last night's video, and that's what it ended up being. Got it placed today, and it went ahead and fulfilled, projected and fulfilled exactly today to the upside, the move up to the 1850-ish area like I had talked about, potentially doing in this one doing in last night's video, and that's exactly what we got today. AMC finished the day up 6.86% at $18.68. It's down 1.55 in after hours at $18.39. That is the current snake. Obviously, the projection from it moving into tomorrow's continuation to upside. If it were to continue to fulfill in this manner, in this placement, if it diverts, we will be clipping another one tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. As you know, for the last few weeks, we have been clipping, diverting and clipping on Wednesday. So keep that in mind. The macro comparatives. There's one macro comparative that, that I have been going over here in two different placements. The macro comparative is from the macro descending wedge prior to the January 2021 run-up. And it's the macro double-double as you see on the screen. And the placement of this, we've talked about multiple, whether line the tops up, line the bottoms up, without fragmenting it. It's putting it on here all in one. I could fragment this thing on here and have it line up, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it in one here and just talk through it as we go. But we talked about it potentially going in this position with the bottoms essentially lined up and then continuation to downside to fulfill this bottom, and it has not done that. I did talk to you in last night's, well, the last few videos about this potentially inverting itself like so, and that would go with the upside move, and that's what it did today. The reason I talked about that is because of the previous inverted mirrorings that it has displayed throughout this comparative. So that appears to be potentially what it has done, if you want to look at it from that perspective. Another perspective that you could look at it is that potentially this bottom is in, if that's where the bottom's going to be. And I talked about that as well being a potential. And if we get this move up followed by the pullback, obviously that's going to confirm that. We won't know that until then, but it's something to look at in preparation for everything. However, if this were to stay, do I think that could this still potentially turn itself around and head back downside? If it wanted to, absolutely, it could do that. There are many places throughout this having a generalized perspective of the macro movements that it did not follow the macro comparative in its entirety, move for move, but yet the overall path of that has been followed in its entirety. So it could do that here and still be following something along these lines to eventually get this heavy move to the upside if it were to be following in this manner. Then there's the other position of it, the secondary position of it, that is and has been the bullish scenario position that I've been talking about, and this is only a portion of that comparative. And that is that one, and where I have been looking at it and tracking it from, talking about it would make this first leg up potentially today, and it's, you know, we're up what, 7% almost today, and then it looks to potentially be, like I said, middle of the week or latter part of the week, that the continuation to upside for this move to the $25 or $26 area would potentially occur prior to the pullback, either the latter part of the week or the beginning of next week, according to this macro comparative in this placement. Then there is GME. GME, nothing had to be done to GME at all. The snake fulfilled in its entirety, and the macro comparative, which the snake runs right with, fulfilled as well. I talked to you in last night's video about the ascending level, the macro one, and the micro one. And that is exactly what ended up happening. GME finished today up 7.78% at 152.47, down 0.81 at 152.23 in after hours. That is currently where we're at within it. It also indicates continuation to upside going into tomorrow, and the macro comparative as well looks and appears to indicate that as well. If it happens to divert from this because it's Wednesday, like a rejection off of the 152 and head back downside, I'll be clipping a new potential snake tomorrow if that happens. SPY. The macro comparatives, as you all know, are from the 08-09 correction and crash. In two different positions. I've called this one the long term, and this one, the red one, the extended version. I have left the long term. We have diverted from this one, but I left it on here due to the inversions that have happened throughout it as well. Again, same thing, same theory, same thought process, a generalized perspective of all of these movements, seeing that the path has been followed and not so much every move being fulfilled as it is projected. And that is what has happened with this so far. However, we started to divert to the downside from the long-term one, but because of the inversions, I wanted to leave this here just in case this were to do something along these lines, right here and right here, and invert this move in its entirety and get itself back up here and start running with the long-term version. And the last 2 days, it has done essentially that. SPY was absolutely parabolic today. It was pretty cool to see. Tons of money. I made a shit ton of money today off of SPY. It's been my best day trading in quite some time for obvious reasons. And yeah, I flipped my entire portfolio today. So it was pretty cool to see the SPY do this. I mean, literally almost all green candles the whole way up. So pretty impressive, but nonetheless, That's where it is within the macro comparatives. The snake that we're following, I made the little adjustment to it, and it has been following it to a T for the last few days here, or last week. Essentially, it did look like we would potentially divert from it, and we have not. So we are still following. The snake is indicating potentially short-term move upside and or consolidation going into tomorrow, and potentially the start of the downside move to then follow the rest of what the snake is projecting and the extended version macro comparative. However, again, tomorrow's Wednesday. That really hasn't went with SPY so much, but it's always a possibility. If we divert from the snake, I would clip another one when we divert, as you know. And if we are to continue upside in this channel, as I have depicted here with the two white lines, then that would be something I believe we would be inverting this move and heading back up potentially to the long-term macro comparative. So that's what I'm looking for with this ascending level of support, more or less, than the actual ascending level of resistance. But that's what I'm looking at with SPY in its entirety. AMC GME going into tomorrow. I will be live here tomorrow morning, starting at 9 a.m. from market open to market close. I hope to see you all then. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, y'all, and I will talk to you all tomorrow morning. Thank you all again. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you all. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Later.